Her stepsisters took everything, but forgot the Victorian Rectory their father left her. Rain hammered against the church windows the day Clara buried her father. Not one tear came from her stepmother, Vanessa. Instead, Vanessa spent the funeral whispering about paperwork and assets, while her daughters, Brielle and Sophia, argued over who deserved the lake house. Clara stood alone beside the grave, soaked in black silk and silence. Her father had promised her something before he died. "You'll understand after I'm gone." That sentence kept replaying in her mind like a scratched record, and she hated it, because dead people never explained themselves. The funeral ended with fake hugs, colder smiles, and Vanessa already calling the estate lawyer before the flowers were removed. 3 days later, Clara walked into her childhood home and found strangers carrying furniture outside.
"What's happening?" she asked. Brielle looked up from the staircase, wearing Clara's mother's pearl necklace. "Oh, nobody told you?" "Told me what?" Vanessa appeared with a folder in hand. "Your father left the house to me." Clara blinked. "What?" "And the company," Sophia added smugly. "And the beach property." Clara laughed nervously. "That's not funny." Vanessa opened the folder dramatically. "It's very legal." Clara grabbed the papers. Everything was there. The properties, the investments, the accounts. All signed, all transferred, all gone. Her stomach dropped. "There has to be something for me." Vanessa tilted her head. "There is." Hope flickered. Then Vanessa smiled. "His condolences." Brielle burst out laughing, so hard she nearly dropped her champagne. Clara felt heat rising behind her eyes. "This is insane. Dad would never leave me with nothing." Sophia shrugged. "Maybe he finally noticed you contributed nothing." That one hurt, because Clara had spent 6 years helping her father run his antique restoration business, while Sophia posted selfies from yachts and Brielle got kicked out of 3 colleges. Vanessa folded her arms. "You have until tonight to leave." Clara stared at them. Her family. Or what used to be one. Then Brielle pointed toward the door. "Careful with the rug. It's worth more than your future." Hours later, Clara sat inside her tiny car outside a gas station, eating stale crackers and trying not to cry. Her entire life fit into 2 suitcases. She checked her bank account. $312. Amazing. At least poverty came with exact numbers. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hello? Miss Clara Whitmore?" "Yes?" "This is Harold Green from Green and Rowe Attorneys. I believe there's been a misunderstanding regarding your father's estate." Clara sat upright instantly. "A misunderstanding?" "Yes. There's an item specifically assigned to you." Her heart pounded. "What item?" "A property." She exhaled shakily. Thank God. Maybe her father hadn't abandoned her after all. "Where is it?" The lawyer hesitated. "The Blackthorn Rectory." Silence. Clara frowned. "The old Victorian place outside Hollow Creek?" "Yes." Her stomach sank again. Everyone knew Blackthorn Rectory. Huge, abandoned, rotting, and rumored to be haunted. Even delivery drivers refused to stop there after dark. Clara remembered going there once as a child with her father. The place looked like a castle swallowed by nightmares. Why would he leave me that?
I believe your father wanted you to have it personally. Is it valuable? Another pause. It has potential. That was lawyer language for absolutely not.
Clara rubbed her forehead. When can I see it? You already own it. The keys are waiting under the caretaker statue. Caretaker statue? You'll know it when you see it. The line disconnected. Perfect. Nothing screamed emotional stability like inheritance scavenger hunts. Clara started the car. If nothing else, at least she'd have a roof over her head. Probably one with bats. As she drove toward Hollow Creek, dark clouds rolled across the sky. Thunder cracked above the forest road. Then her headlights caught the outline of Blackthorn Rectory. Massive towers, broken stained glass, iron gates hanging open like crooked teeth. And standing near the entrance was a man holding a lantern, watching her car, not moving, not blinking, just waiting. And when lightning flashed across the property, Clara realized he wasn't holding the lantern. The lantern was hanging from a grave. Clara slammed the brakes so hard her suitcase flew off the back seat. The figure near the grave never moved. Rain poured harder across the windshield. For one horrifying second, she considered driving straight back to town. Then the figure lifted an umbrella. Alive. Good start. Clara stepped out carefully. The man was elderly, tall, and painfully thin, with silver hair slicked flat against his skull. "You're late," he said calmly. Clara blinked. "Excuse me? I expected you yesterday." "Well, I expected a normal inheritance." "Fair point." The old man almost smiled. "I'm Walter, groundskeeper." "You live here?" "Unfortunately." Thunder cracked above them. Walter pointed toward the giant stone angel beside the gate. "There are your keys." Of course there were. Because apparently this property came with haunted side quests. Clara reached beneath the angel statue and found an old brass key attached to a tag labeled Blackthorn. The rectory loomed behind them. Every window looked dark. Watching. Judging. Probably leaking. Walter opened the front doors with a loud groan. Dust exploded everywhere. The inside smelled like rain, wood rot, and ancient books. Clara stared upward. Despite the decay, the place was beautiful. Massive chandeliers, hand-carved staircases, paintings older than countries. Her father restored antiques his whole life. Now she understood why he loved this place. "What happened here?" she whispered. Walter looked uncomfortable. "People left." That's not an answer. It's the safest one. Fantastic. Exactly the kind of sentence serial killers loved. Clara wandered through the hallway, brushing dust from framed portraits. Then she froze. One portrait showed her father, much younger, standing beside Blackthorn Rectory, beside a woman Clara had never seen before. What is this? Walter stiffened. "You should eat something first." That's not an answer either. But before he could respond, a loud crash exploded upstairs. Clara jumped. Walter's face turned pale instantly. "Stay here." He grabbed the lantern and rushed upstairs. Clara followed anyway. Because horror movies only worked when people made bad choices. And apparently she qualified. The second-floor hallway stretched endlessly in darkness. Then she saw it. A door swinging open slowly. Bang. 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 Wind slammed it against the wall repeatedly.
Walter stood frozen outside the room. "What happened?" Clara whispered. "Nobody enters this room." "Well, someone clearly did." Walter looked terrified. "That room has been locked for 20 years. Clara stepped closer. Inside stood an enormous office covered in sheets. Bookshelves lined every wall. Rain dripped through cracked ceilings. And on the desk sat a single envelope, with her name written on it. Clara. Her pulse quickened. She opened it carefully. Inside was a handwritten letter from her father. "If you're reading this, they already betrayed you." Clara's throat tightened. "I knew Vanessa would take everything. That was never important. Blackthorn is the real inheritance, not the house. What's hidden beneath it?" Clara looked up sharply. "Beneath it?"
Your mother protected it first. Now it belongs to you. Do not trust anyone asking about the cellar, especially the Ashford family. And Clara, if they discover the vault before you do, run. A loud noise echoed downstairs. The front door slammed. Walter cursed under his breath. They're here. Who? But she already knew. Headlights flashed through the windows below. Multiple cars. Voices echoed outside. Then Clara heard Brielle's voice shouting from downstairs. "Well, this place smells like depression." Sophia laughed. Vanessa entered behind them wearing heels completely unsuited for surviving haunted mansions. "How charming," she said coldly. Clara stormed downstairs. "What are you doing here?" Vanessa smiled. "Visiting family. You threw me out 3 days ago." "Yes, but then we discovered something interesting." Sophia held up papers. "Turns out this property sits on land worth millions." Clara's stomach tightened. Walter slowly backed away toward the shadows. Vanessa stepped closer.
"So here's what's going to happen. You're signing the property over tonight." "No." Brielle smirked. "Then you should probably know." She tossed a photograph onto the table. Clara grabbed it. Her blood turned cold. The photograph showed her father standing inside a hidden underground room, filled with gold, old paintings, locked chests, and stacks of cash. Sophia leaned close and whispered, "We know about the vault." And upstairs, something heavy began walking across the ceiling. Slow, deliberate, not human. If you think Clara's father hid more than money inside Blackthorn Rectory, hit like and subscribe, because finally, it's going to change everything. The footsteps above them stopped. Complete silence filled the rectory. Nobody moved. Not Clara, not Vanessa, not even Brielle, who finally looked nervous for the first time in her spoiled existence. Then, boom. Something slammed directly above the chandelier. Dust rained down everywhere.
Sophia grabbed Vanessa's arm instantly. "What was that?" Walter stepped forward slowly. "You should leave." Vanessa scoffed, but her voice shook slightly. "We're not scared of an old house." Another bang echoed upstairs. Closer this time. Then came the sound of dragging chains. Brielle's confidence disappeared immediately. Oh, hell no. Clara crossed her arms. "Funny, 5 minutes ago you owned the place." Vanessa glared at Walter. "What is upstairs?" Walter looked exhausted. "The reason nobody stays here." Thunder exploded outside. Lights flickered violently. Then every chandelier in the hallway turned on at once. One by one. Like someone walking through the house. Toward them. Sophia screamed. A shadow moved across the second-floor balcony. Tall. Broad. Impossible to see clearly. Vanessa stepped backward. "Who's up there?" Walter answered quietly. "The caretaker." Clara frowned. "You said you were the caretaker." Walter looked toward the ceiling. "No, I only maintain the grounds." The shadow disappeared. Then the entire house went dark. Absolute blackness.
Someone whispered nearby. "Clara." Her father's voice. She spun around. Nobody. Vanessa panicked immediately. "Find the lights!" "I can't see anything!" Brielle shouted. A loud metallic groan echoed beneath the floorboards. Walter grabbed Clara's wrist tightly. "Now." "What?" "The cellar. Before they find it." Walter dragged her through darkness while Vanessa shouted behind them. Clara nearly slipped on the stairs descending underground. The cellar smelled damp and ancient. Walter lit another lantern. The room revealed massive stone walls covered with strange symbols. And in the center, a steel vault door. Clara stared speechlessly. Her father hadn't lied. Walter handed her a small key. "Your father trusted only you." "Why?" "Because your mother was the last Blackthorn." Clara froze. "What?" Walter sighed deeply. "This estate belonged to your mother's family for generations. Vanessa never knew." Everything suddenly clicked. Her father never cared about the other properties. This was the true inheritance. "The vault contains wealth collected over 2 centuries," Walter continued, "but also records, land deeds, evidence." "Evidence of what?" Walter hesitated. "Crimes." Footsteps echoed upstairs again. Voices. Vanessa had followed them. "Down here!" Sophia shouted. Walter cursed softly. "They cannot access that vault." Vanessa stormed into the cellar. There it is. Her eyes widened greedily at the steel door. Brielle laughed nervously. "Oh my God, we're rich. Vanessa stepped toward Clara. "Open it." "No." Vanessa's smile vanished instantly. "You are not walking away with this." Clara finally snapped. "For years, Dad trusted me while you treated him like an ATM." Vanessa slapped her. Hard. But before Clara could react, the lanterns blew out. Darkness swallowed the cellar. Then came the sound. Chains dragging across stone. Slowly circling them. Sophia started crying. "Mom." A deep voice echoed through the darkness. "Leave." Not human. Not possible. Vanessa trembled. "Who's there?" The vault door suddenly unlocked by itself. Clank. The heavy steel slowly creaked open. Inside stood shelves of gold, paintings, and documents, exactly like the photograph. But nobody looked at the treasure. Because hanging inside the vault was a portrait. A massive oil painting of Clara's mother. And beside her stood the shadow figure from upstairs. The caretaker. Except now Clara could finally see him clearly. Same black coat. Same lantern. same face. Her father's face. Vanessa stumbled backward in terror. That's impossible. The figure raised one hand slowly toward Clara. Not threatening. Protective. Then every document stored inside the vault lifted into the air as wind exploded through the cellar. Pages scattered everywhere. Walter grabbed one from the floor. His eyes widened. It's proof. Proof of what? Clara asked. Walter directly at Vanessa.
Your husband discovered you were stealing from the company for years. Vanessa's face drained completely. Brielle stared at her mother. What? He changed the will before he died, Walter continued. But he never had time to expose her publicly. Sophia backed away from Vanessa slowly. You said Dad left everything to us. Vanessa screamed. Because he was supposed to. The shadow stepped closer behind Clara. The lantern glowed brighter. Vanessa panicked completely and ran for the stairs. Brielle and Sophia followed instantly. Within seconds, they were gone. Silence returned to the cellar. Clara turned toward the figure slowly. Tears filled her eyes. Dad? The lantern flickered softly. Then the shadow disappeared. Gone. But somehow, the room no longer felt haunted. It felt safe. 6 months later, Blackthorn Rectory became one of the most famous restoration estates in Hollow Creek. Tourists visited daily. The hidden fortune restored the property completely. Brielle and Sophia cut ties with Vanessa after the fraud investigation began. And Clara? For the first time in her life, she finally came home. If this story shocked you, hit like and subscribe for more mystery stories with dark secrets, twists, and unforgettable endings.